Hello, and welcome back to Living Creative with Pixie Princess. You remember when we were children and we would make a paper chain cutting strips of construction paper? And people used to decorate with these chains a long time ago. We're going to make a chain today, but we're going to use our scrap yarn to do it. And whether you are learning how to loom knit or crochet or even knit with 2 needles like I'm learning to do, you can practice this and repeat your stitches over and over, and it's a good way to practice your stitches. But you don't just end up with scraps. We're going to make a chain. So if this is something that interests you, please stay tuned. Okay, what you'll need is some worsted weight yarn, and I'm using yarn that I just had left over in my stash of yarn. I had some red and green and white. I don't even think it's all the same brand or anything, but it really doesn't matter on this project. A, you're just practicing your stitches, and B, you're making a chain that when it's used to go on a tree or decorate a mantle or whatever, nobody's going to really pay attention to your stitches. So perfection doesn't matter. You're practicing. If you are learning this craft, this is a good way to do it and still end up with a project. So let me put this aside, and I'm going to show you these 2 right here. One of these I did with 2 needles and one I did on the loom. And honestly, I don't remember which is which. I think this one was done on the needles because I see some imperfections and I'm just learning that craft. But I'm not positive. And you see, when people say it's not knitting, that's not true. Look, these stitches are the same. It's a garter stitch and it's exactly the same. I didn't even get the length exactly right, but we're going to do about 6 inches. So you'll need your scrap yarn, whatever color you want. I'm doing red, green, and white. A measuring tape would be handy to measure your 6 inches. You will need a darning needle and some scissors. Now, depending on what you're doing, I've done all 3 and I've mixed and matched. But if you want to stick to one or another, that's perfectly fine. So right now, we are going to finish off the loom one. I am going to crochet one, and I'm going to knit one right here with you. So most of the people watching this channel already know how to loom knit. And for this project, we're using, I believe it's 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I use my Flexi loom because this is the only loom I have that's a small gauge. But if you have a small gauge loom, you can use that. You just need 8 pegs. And usually when I do the garter stitch, I always knit the end ones, but I wanted it to look like the ones I'm knitting on needles. So I purled those as well. So I want to get to 6 inches. So let's see where I'm at. And we will finish this one and then we'll start a new one. So I'm going down here. I got a little bit to go. So let's finish. And the way you know how to bind on, if you don't have an anchor peg, just put your working yarn, make a slip knot and put it on your first peg. All right, so I've already knit and purled down. So I'm going to go back. I got to do this a few more times. So you just go around that one here. It's kind of like a figure 8 when you're going back. And then you wrap all the way back. Like so. And then you're going to take your knitting tool and you're going to knit that one off. You do have some options here. I'm going to knit all the way down and then purl, and then I'll show you the other option, which is the one that I normally do. All right, can y'all see everything? So you got all your pegs wrapped, and you're just taking the bottom loop over the top, Most of you know how to loom knit that are watching this channel. But if you don't, I do have some other tutorials. Okay, and to purl, which is going to make this garter stitch here, you go back, but you don't wrap. You go from the top, pull up a loop, take the existing loop off, and put the new loop on, tighten. And then we're going to do that all the way down. Let me get these out of the way. I don't know why some people think that loom knitting is cheating. It's just a tool. That's like saying using an electric mixer over a whisk is cheating. You know, you're mixing a batter or something. The end result is what you're trying to get to. Whether you do it by hand or you do it with an electric mixer or a stand mixer or however you do it, as long as you are getting a mixed batter, it doesn't matter what tool you use. So neither one of them is better than the other. It's the tool that you choose to use. So if you choose, if this is easier or more comfortable, it's not cheating. It's still knitting, as I showed you. I can't tell which one was on the loom and which one was on the needles. So I don't know, when anybody tells you it's cheating, don't listen to them, because it's not. It's just the tool that you used. All right, so now I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you how I normally do this. So I'm going to wrap again, go back, kind of do that figure 8 on that first one. Wrap all the way back to the first one. Okay, so now this is the way I do it. You can see I knit the first one off, and then I go around and immediately purl it. So I'm knitting a peg and purling a peg, and that saves me a little time. Okay. Let's get a little yarn off this ball here. I did not buy any yarn for this project. This is yarn, that was left from older projects. Of course, you can buy the yarn. You most definitely can. Just make sure it is a worsted weight. I think most of this is a Red Heart Super Saver, but it could be another brand. The white one seems a little softer, so I don't think it's Super Saver. But it doesn't matter. So you knit, and then you purl. The small project on the loom is a little more difficult for me, it is, because it's a little harder to hold. But, you can do these projects while you're watching, your favorite Christmas movies or just relaxing, I find, if you're trying to not snack so much, doing something like this with your hands while you're watching TV or movies, it keeps your hands busy and you don't tend to snack because you don't want to get your hands greasy or whatever and get it on your project. So I'm going to measure once I get this row done. And it works quickly because you're not doing as many pegs. You're only doing 8 pegs. And then I'll explain, crochet stitches are a little bigger than knit stitches. Separate my yarn here. So I believe I chained 8. I didn't chain 6. So no, I chained 6 instead of 8, sorry, because they are a little bit bigger. And then I knit. Okay, I'm going to give it a quick measure and see. Okay, I think one more a knit purl and then a knit is what I'm going to do. So I can speed this up, and then I'll come back to you when I have gotten to 6 inches. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to knit back. I'm not going to purl, and I think that will be close enough. This isn't an exact science. It's just a way for you to practice your stitches. Oops. So I'm going to wrap back. And I'm not going to purl this time, because I knit on the loom from left to right. If you do right to left, it doesn't really matter. But I'd rather bind off left to right. But if you knit right to left, you can bind off that way. Just, it doesn't really matter, whatever you're comfortable with. And I think this is going to do it. Give it one more measure. Okay. Yeah, there we go, 6 inches. So this is, you don't need a whole lot since it's a short little thing here. But what I'm going to do is wrap it around the loom 3 times, 2 and 3, just to make sure I have enough yarn. I'd rather have too much than not enough. Okay, I'm going to do it with the needles. You can do it with your hook, but I just want to show you. I think the last project I did on the loom was the mitten, and I did it with the hook, I believe. So you're just going to thread your darning needle here. Excuse me. All right. And if you got it on the needle, just kind of fold it in half so you don't have much. So you're going to go around that first peg here, see? And you're not going to do anything. And the second peg here, you're going to go underneath with your needle. And you're going to pull your yarn all the way through. And then you're going to go back and you're going the top. Pull your needle top to bottom. And you're going to pull it all the way through. Make sure you get it all out. So now you're going to skip this one and go to this one. Go to the bottom all the way up and pull your yarn through. All the way through. Now you're going to remove the first one. This is a stretchy bind off. Okay? And I'm going to go back down here. You can remove it after you do that if you want. Okay, excuse me. I'm so sorry. All right, now we're going to skip this one. And we're going to go to the next one. Go underneath. Pull the yarn all the way through. Remember, it's folded in half, so make sure you do that. Go back down on that one. Put your needle in and pull it through. Make sure your yarn doesn't get caught on the other pegs. Pull that all the way through and take that one off, the first one off. Okay? And you just keep continuing, and this won't take too long because we only have 8 pegs that we're working with. Skip that one. Go to this one. Go back to that one. Go top down. Pull the yarn all the way through. Take your first one off. Okay. Again, skip. Then go back, down and out. Okay, take this one off. Got hung up. Okay, got it out. Now I'll go back down to this one. Take that one off. Skip that one, go to the last one. We're almost done. Go back down here. Take that one off. And then go up the back, bottom here. Go here. Take that one off. And I'm going to go back up this one and take it off and tighten. Okay, and I'm going to leave that tail because we're going to sew them all together. All right? All right, so now I'm going to show you how to crochet. I'm going to do that with the green, okay? So make your slip knot like you normally do. Tighten it on your hook. Let me grab some water real quick. All right. You're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay? Make sure you have enough yarn to work with. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat here. And we're just going to single crochet. You don't crochet in here, but the next chain you insert your hook, pull up a loop. You'll have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through both. Okay? And then do that all the way down. Insert into the chain, pull up a loop. You have 2 loops. Yarn over and pull through. Do that till we get to the end. This is a single crochet in U.S. terminology. Should be the last one here. Okay. Should be looking like this, and if you compare it, it's about the same width. Actually, I think let's cut that part.
Okay.
Okay, I think I do need to do 8 stitches. All right. I gotta get that frog out of my throat. Okay, I'm ready whenever. All right, so now let's crochet, and I was wrong. 6 stitches was not enough. 6 chains. So do your slip knot, tighten it on your hook, and we're going to chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then all we're going to do is single crochet, and this is U.S. terminology. On that second chain, and you don't count the one on your hook, you insert your hook, pull up a loop, and then you'll have 2 loops on your hook. You yarn over and pull through both loops. Okay, that's 1. Do the next one. Don't yarn over like I was about to. Insert, pull up, yarn over, pull through both loops. Insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull it through both loops. And then we got one more that we got to do. Okay. And let's see if this is about the same width. Yeah, it is. It's about. So you do need to chain 8, and then you end up with, I think, 7 stitches here. So to continue, all you're going to do is chain 1, turn your work, and then we're just going to repeat this. So in this one right here, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Let's go all the way down. Okay, it should be 7 when you get down to the end. If you have less or more, you've increased or decreased. So you need to make sure that you're not increasing or decreasing. So you're just going to continue that. That didn't work out. Let me do that one again. Okay, so it's insert in that last hole there, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. And then to continue, all you're going to do is chain 1, turn your work, and you repeat until you get to 6 inches. So I'm going to keep doing this until I get to 6 inches, and then I will show you how to end the project. It's a lot easier than knitting. So continue crocheting until we get to 6 inches, and I'll meet you back. Okay, so I'm just going to do one more row because I think I'm right at 6 inches. Let me take my measuring tape. Yeah, I am. Actually, I can finish this one. I don't need to do another row. So I've done back and forth, and I've done 6 inches. So what I'm going to do, I do still want a long tail. So I'm just going to cut off a long tail here. And then I'm just going to yarn over and pull it through. That's one of the beauties of crochet. It's easier to bind off. So if you'll see here, crochet and knit look different. They look totally different. Doesn't matter if you knitted it on the needles or the loom. Crochet, I do not believe there's any way to do it on a machine. Knitting, you can do it on a machine. You can do it by hand. You can do it with a loom. Crochet is, I think you can do little chains with your fingers, but you cannot crochet on a machine. So it looks totally different. The fabric is thicker. So, but you know, for this chain that I'm making, I'm mixing and matching. It's not going to make any difference. Okay, so I am learning how to knit with 2 needles. I've done a few projects. They're pretty good. Like I said, I've already knitted a strip, and I don't remember which one was on the loom. I know this one because I just finished it. I did these a few weeks ago, so I don't remember. It's the same look, and I'm going to practice, but I'm not skilled enough to teach you how to knit with the needles. So there are plenty of YouTubers that can show you this. You can take a knitting class at a local yarn shop, but I'm not one to teach this. But if you are doing this and learning like I am, you can knit a bunch of strips just like this to make your chain. So this is a good way to practice that. I just don't feel comfortable teaching it because I am not at a level where I feel comfortable doing that. I am still learning. I make a lot of mistakes. But with that said, you can knit all of your strips to make your chain. So if you want to practice this, this is a good way to practice your stitches just like I am. I'm just not going to do it on camera because I'm not skilled to do that. So let's get to making our chain. Let me show you how to do that. All right. So this is what I've put together so far. All right. So it looks like I'm doing white, red, green. I've got a white one. So I'm going to put the red one that I just made here. This is so super simple. If I can find my needle, here it is. Okay, so what I am going to do is that long tail. I'm going to thread it into my needle. Okay, as I've said before, I crochet left-handed. I loom left-handed. When I knit with needles, I knit right-handed and I sew right-handed. And I apologize for that. All right, so just like when you were a kid and you were making a paper chain, all you do is slip it under. Now, I'm going to say, decide which side you want to show. With the garter stitch, it's the same stitch, so it doesn't matter. Okay? Because I'm going to flip mine over so my stitches don't show that much. But you just line up, after you get it slipped through the loop, you line it up. And you take your threaded needle and you're going to go in. And then back through. You're just sewing. It's as simple as that. I like to go down and up again. If I'm not covering up things here. And you can kind of do a whip stitch too, which would make it very secure. Okay, I went down. I am going to do that. So I'm just going to go back to the other side and do that. Go back through the other side here. Okay, and this should make it nice and secure. Okay. So once you do that, if you want to, I like to make a knot. A lot of people do not. I kind of go it through here, and then I just go through here, and I tighten that up. I trim that off. I have this tail here. I'm going to kind of weave that in a little bit. This project is not an exact science. It will probably have lots of mistakes, and that's fine. This is just a cute little way to practice your stitches. So I'm going to go in one way. I'm going to go back right here. And I'm going to snip that off. That's why I said make sure you have the side showing that you want. Don't sew that side, because all I do, so this lumpy thing right here doesn't show so much, I just flip it over. So you're just going to continue this. You can make as many of these as you want using whatever method you do, crochet, knitting, loom knitting, and just link them together until you get the chain that you want. And make it big enough to decorate if you want it to wrap around your tree or go on a mantle or a door frame, however you want to use it. Or if you have stairs, a staircase would be pretty. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, show me pictures of your chain. I'd love to see it. And tell me what stitches you're practicing. So practice your stitches. Have fun with it. Watch a movie, drink your tea, or whatever you enjoy. But I hope you enjoyed this project, and I hope you have fun making it. Please show me your pictures. Give this a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I'd love for you to be with us on this journey of creating many, many things. Until the next one, God bless.